So, as I was getting ready to come out to the studio this morning, I was watching Artist Assignment by PBS. They profile artists and they profile artists, they give the viewer an art assignment, but they also, they explain art. The host, and I don't know her name, explains art in a way people just haven't, not to me anyway. And so I found it helpful for me in what I'm trying to do here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter and all the rest of it. And so I felt the need to kind of talk about what I do when I'm painting, because it's not just about me make pretty picture. In fact, I find that highly offensive when I go to art galleries and art show and it's all about me make pretty picture, me make pretty girl, me make pretty landscape, me make better landscape than that guy make pretty landscape. It just, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And it's relentless and it's everywhere. And there's nothing I can do about it except try and combat it with the way I paint and how I paint and why I paint and why I never talk about. Because I do not like art talk. I do not like highfalutin, condescending art theory discussions going on at art openings where people are talking way above their pay grade or their understanding of even what the artist is doing. You know, what I try and do in my painting is not just construct visually pleasing images or easily recognizable images, because that's easy. That's kindergarten play, as far as I'm concerned. And again, as you can see, it makes my blood boil when that's the only jumping off point for someone that calls himself an artist. And unfortunately, that's what we're taught is art in school. So we're told as children that if me not pretty, you know, if me no produce pretty, basically caveman thinking, if it's not a pretty image, it's not art. Now, I have a really good understanding of the figure, how to draw and paint the human figure. I studied muscle tissue and skeletal construction starting when I was in middle school, and started taking college figure drawing classes when I was 13 or 14. So I have a pretty good understanding of how to construct a figure. I also have a good understanding of how to construct the idea of a figure, only because I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. As I've worked at doing portraits, I've worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. But in constructing a figure, constructing a portrait, it's not, I've gotten a good image of the person. It is, does it feel like the person? But also within that, does it feel like the person? Does it feel like the figure? Does the hand feel like a hand? Does the arm feel like the arm is in the correct place? It's not just that. My paintings are about the act of painting. I'm constructing a painting while deconstructing the art of painting as well. And I do that in the videos. Some of the videos. And I show them the brush strokes. They're not minimalist, but they are how to construct a sleeve. How to construct the fold of a sleeve. How to give the indication of light. So it's a lesson, God, I sound like someone, a critic on the outside who finally gets it. But it's, how do you do that? How do you paint that? It's basically a teaching people how to paint while doing the painting. The construction of a painting while deconstructing the act of painting. And it is also about the joy and the love of painting. The color, the color, the use of mediums, and how it affects color. It's about painting. It's not just some pretty girl. There's a lot of thinking that goes on in what I do. There's several different layers that I'm thinking about while I'm painting. It's just that I don't discuss it because I don't want to come across as one of those lofty artists that everyone hates and wants to punch in the face, including me. I don't use flesh tones, and they're for my very specific reason. And I don't talk about it much because I don't want some art student going, I'm brilliant. I saw something on YouTube, run into class and go, and this is why I'm no longer using flesh tones. I have my own reasons. So that is kind of the who's and how's and what's of why and whys of what I do. I received 2 somewhat criticisms yesterday in two different sites, and it really makes my blood boil when people who are supposed to be intellectually there can't see what's actually going on. But the guy off the street who comes into my show can explain it to me, why he feels the art, why he likes the art, why he hates going to art shows, but really likes what I do. It makes my blood boil. When people who are supposed to be culturally literate are capable of grasping what apparently most people in the world can, or what most people who write me anyway can. But that's kind of it. I started thinking, what is my next video going to be about? And then I was watching art assignments on YouTube. Art assignments by PBS on YouTube. Great series. Really, really great series. So many levels of artist. And the first one I looked at this morning at the end of the interview, and they're only like 5, 6, 7 minutes long, each video. At the end of each interview, or at the end of this interview, the artist gave out an assignment. So the artist came on, did a profile, did an interview sort of, and then the host of the show gave an explanation. They did a little chit-chatting. The host did a full explanation of that type of artwork, and then the artist gave an assignment. And so today I think I'm going to give out my own assignment in the spirit of PBS. My art assignment today is, let me see, how do you express the complexities within you in a picture? And my paintings are multi-level, as we've seen. I start off with black and white gessos, swipes going everywhere. Then there's aerosols on top. Then on top of that is maybe a little bit more acrylic, a little bit more gesso. Then on top of that is oil. And it's all put together not for the naked eye, but for the eye of the mind. So that many levels back, we're seeing the complexities of the image, the depth of the image, the energy of the person, the energy of the figure, the energy of the subject coming out. And it may not be it most likely isn't for the naked eye, it's most likely for what's going on behind the eye. And people have told me they connect with it, they get it. Ordinary people get it, and that's what I really love. But it's not just for, sorry, I'm kind of shooting off in different directions because my blood was boiling all day yesterday. Between wicks and people telling me what to do, I kind of lost it. But anyway, it's not just for the layers of the mind to connect and to see something deeper than just the image. But it's also for light. As I've said in many videos, I I'm constructing my paintings so that light will go through the oil, through the neo-McGilp that I use, the Galkid light, and shoot to the back where the underlayers are and bounce back out. And it makes the colors on top glow. So there's multi-layers of my paintings is what I'm getting to, and then I'm going to shut up and get to work. There's multi-layers to the paintings I do, and multi-reasons. It's the construction of a painting while deconstructing the act of painting. It's the joy of painting, just the sheer joy of paint. There's the giving out clues to the energy of the person and the figure by having multi-layers that aren't necessarily visible to the naked eye. Then there's also allowing light to go in through the painting and bounce back out and make it glow. There's a lot of technical issues involved and highly intellectual reasons as to why I do what I do. But that's kind of that. Go take a look at Art Assignments by PBS. I think you'll really enjoy it. And so your assignment, how do you express the layers, the energy, the thought, the feeling that you have? The aliveness that you have. How do you express it in an art piece? See if you can do it. See if you can do it. Why not? It's not going to hurt anything. And you might find it fun. And you really might find it kind of enlightening. Who are you? Ciao.